this is Joe, RGF's Technical Support Manager, and today we're going to unbox the REMI Halo LED, show you what is contained in it, what you're going to be using for your installs, which we will be covering at a later time. First, on the top, you're going to find your accessory kit. This is going to include all of the stuff that you're going to be using when you do the install. As we see right on the top, we have a pair of UV light stickers. These are to be put on your air handler to inform anyone who happens to open it that the power must be turned off because the UV light is damaging to your eyes. Next, we have the gasket for the halo itself, the REMI LED halo. Warranty registration card. A little flyer. A little product information card, and your install instructions. We also have, this is your seal to seal around the unit after it is installed into the ductwork. We also have a relay. This is going to be used in most installs. This is a 2-position relay which has a normally open and a normally closed set of contacts, which you will be using in most installs. It's a 24-volt relay, so it is going to be activated by a 24-volt signal. And then we have a few wire nuts and a few screws to mount the relay and to mount the transformer. So we're going to move this to the side and show you what else is in the box. This is the REMI Halo LED unit itself. This is a directional airflow unit. As you see on the sticker on the top, it tells you your airflow has to be in this direction from the bottom up. And then in the bottom of the box, we have our power supply for the unit, which is a 24-volt transformer, a 40 VA. This unit can be wired for 120 volt, 208 volt, or 240 volt, depending on your air handler install you are using. In certain installations, you will be needing to use our air switch kit, which is part number HLED-AS. This is in installations such as a communicating air conditioner, which you do not have the ability to connect the relay that comes with the Halo REMI LED. And contained in this box, we have about 5 feet of 1/4-inch OD tubing. This is used for your sensor of the air pressure differential. You have a few small zip ties to keep your tubing and your wiring straight. You have some electrical connectors and a few screws to mount the unit down. Complete instructions for it. It's a 2-sided instruction sheet. One side shows you the electrical wiring for it. The second side shows you how to run your tubing for your sensors for the air switch kit and the air switch itself. This is a 2-sided air switch, has different colors on each side to help you identify your negative to your positive. The tan or gray side is your negative. The black side of it is your positive input. The unit has 2 terminals. It is a normally open switch which closes at 0.05 inches of water column, so it will work on any system that you go to install it in. It will work on the communicating systems as well as any other air conditioner that you happen to want to put it on, or a heat pump, or on a electric heat unit, as well as a gas unit. So any unit that you actually plan on installing the REMI LED in, you can use the air switch and it will simplify your install and your wiring much. And now we're going to go on to the install of this unit. Today we're installing the REMI LED unit using the air switch kit, which can be used on any air conditioner, makes it much simpler. So we're going to start by mounting the unit into the ductwork here. So you need to pay particular attention to the airflow arrow on the unit. In this particular unit, airflow is up, so we're going to be installing it in this orientation. When you're installing it, you're going to be using your gasket. Be particularly careful when you put your gasket on as which direction it goes. It is directional. So in this instance, our gasket is going to mount in this direction. So what I'm going to do at this moment is put my gasket up here and level it out to the center of the ductwork. And then I'm going to draw around the inside using the gasket as a template for the hole we're going to cut in the ductwork. Now we know that is directly in the center and it is in the correct orientation for the REMI LED. And then we're going to cut it out. Alternatively, if you're doing this on steel ductwork, you could use a 4.5-inch hole saw to make a easier cut, as this shape is probably a little hard to cut on metal ductwork. Whereas in regular ductboard ductwork, it's quite simple. You could also use the 4.5-inch hole saw on regular ductwork as well. Now that we have our hole cut, we're going to take our gasket, peel the tape from one side of it, and position it over our hole in the ductwork. And then, once we have that positioned, we're going to peel the tape off it, install the REMI in, lining it all up with the gasket, and again making sure your airflow direction is up on this particular unit. Obviously, if your airflow is to the side or a downflow unit, you're going to have your arrow corresponding to the direction you are going. Once we have that installed, we're going to take our sealing tape and seal around the unit. The gasket actually does a very good job of sealing, but this gives a little better finished appearance when installing it. It takes a little finesse to do it without messing it up. And you try to get your fingers not on it while you're doing it. And then you simply set it on and work your way around the unit. The aluminum is actually a little larger than the unit, so you may need to set it in a little bit to get it to seal on the edge of the metal brace all the way around. Alternatively, you can use regular aluminum tape if you do not get a good seal around this. But again, the gasket that comes with it does a very good job of sealing as it is. And that is pretty much our unit installed into the ductwork with good airflow direction, again, as the unit flows. Using the air switch kit is very simple. I have already set my transformer in here. It is set up for 240 volts, as that is the voltage of this particular unit. For power of it, I am going to connect off of the incoming feed of the transformer in the unit, the existing 240 volt feed. Be totally aware to shut your power off to the unit before you ever open the cover and reach in here. I'm using line tap units, which simply snap onto the wires for the feed, and then you just slide your wiring in, and using a pair of pliers, clamp the unit, and it connects to both sides of the wiring. And then you simply snap the top over. So we're going to do that on both the black and the yellow, which is going to feed our low voltage transformer a constant 240 volts, which is going to power the transformer all of the time. In this situation, using the air switch, we leave the power on to the low voltage transformer all of the time, and we break the low voltage coming out of the transformer by the air switch. So that gives us our power full time into the transformer. Coming out of the transformer, you have the feed wire for the REMI LED. You simply break the low voltage, put a 1/4 inch tap on either side, and you take that to the air switch kit, which I have mounted here. You have 2 terminals on it. It does not matter which terminal you connect to which of the wires on the low voltage. You just plug them in. The air switch has a positive and a negative side. When it is mounted, you will see that the tan or gray side is against the wall where you have mounted it. The tan or gray side is the negative side, and as I have it installed here in this unit's intake plenum, you do not need to add a tube to the low side due to the fact it is going to get the suction from the blower here. Then you just feed your low voltage wire up to the REMI. You can plug the REMI in right now. It will not come on because we do not have power to the unit. We are now going to run our signal to turn the switch on and off using the 1/4 inch OD tube which comes in the kit. And what we are going to do with this, because we have the air switch mounted inside the unit where it's going to get the low voltage, or low pressure, we are going to put our sensor tube onto the positive or high pressure side of the switch, as such. And then we're going to follow our wiring out to the REMI with the sensor tube. In this instance, you would not necessarily use all of the tubing that we provide in the kit, but in certain instances, you would be running the tubing down to, say, a sealed cabinet. You would actually want to have your intake or negative pressure side here near the blower to get the negative side of the airflow. And then you simply feed up through to the ductwork. What I prefer to do here is come up where my REMI is to get my positive airflow side on this type of ductwork. Using a standard number 3 Phillips, I can take and just simply poke a small hole through the entire ductwork, and then I can trim my sensor tubing so it is not long and gangly, like so. Pop it through that hole, making sure you get it far enough to be inside and sense the pressure differential between here and there, the low side and high side. And that completes the install for this unit. Now, all we need to do is power the unit up and turn the blower on, and you will hear the unit come on. As you hear the buzz and you see the little wire light come on, we now have a finished running unit using the air switch. This unit is a standard unit which does not have any electronics in it, so the air switch for this unit is a very simple and quick install, as well as this can be used on any unit in this style. It does not care whether it is an electronically communicating unit, whether it has a 2-speed blower, whatever. Anytime the blower comes on, the LED unit will come on. Anytime the blower turns off, it will turn off. We have had certain troubles with units using the EAC terminal, which is the electronic air cleaner terminal, which when wired directly to the electronic air cleaner terminal will short out the low voltage transformer and take out the REMI LED inversely. So you do not, if you are going to try to use the EAC terminal, you do not connect directly to the EAC terminal. And you will see there is a technical bulletin on that. And with the air switch, you do not need to use that anyway. The air switch will do everything in any system this simply. And that fast. So you can install a unit extremely fast this way.